Good day. I am including in a link in the description a video from Hassan Campbell. Hadn't heard that name before? Allow me to introduce him. And I've listened to it. And I gotta say he's right. Cuomo, let's talk about him. Cuomo was involved in some heinous things regarding the elderly and this pandemic, scamdemic. Alright? Facts. Alright? Cuomo is on the hot seat for flirting with young women in the workplace. Alright? While at the same time, a 12-year-old boy who comes out to be a 12-year-old girl gets to get interviewed by the former First Lady and be put on a platform for something to aspire to be. Women, I blame women for this. Before I get the hate mail, let me explain. For years in the churches, when I was attending churches, okay, the only person qualified for whatever reason to be choir director was an effeminate young man. Right? Y'all embrace that. My best friend's a guy, and it's okay because he doesn't like women. And you've embraced that and you've nurtured that. And what you have effectively done, along with the help of whoever's behind the alphabet movement, is you've attacked the masculinity of men, particularly in this country. Now, I can only speak with what's going on in this country. All right? Promotion of feminine men in this country is celebrated. Celebrated in movies, celebrated on your television, right? In many cases, celebrated in your religious circuits. Priests are not going to jail for their actions on little boys. In the Catholic circuits, if I'm saying anything that's not true, call me out on it. Enough is enough. Flirting with women today is dangerous. You better not flirt with a woman at your job. It's dangerous. Okay? You flirt with a woman and years later, you could be called on the carpet for that. All right? But pushing the LG alphabet soup, that's the new acceptable norm. That's the new norm. Do what thou wilt. I mean, live the life you want to live. This is not, but please don't be offended if we lock eyes at the supermarket and I don't speak to you. All right? Because flirting with women today can be a crime, depending on how it's received. Congratulations. Tell them what they want, Bob. Right? You already live in a society where the women outnumber the men. Right? Now you live in a society where, for whatever reason, men want to become women, which takes more available men away from women. You women, you think you have a lot to choose from. You think you have a lot to choose from. Now, let me tell you why you think you have a lot to choose from. Because you're on these social media sites. You take these pictures and you post them, and you get a bunch of guys in your DMs, in your inbox, liking your pictures, okay? Knocking off those excitement cells in your brain. you think there's many men from you to choose from, you are mistaken. Do not have many men to choose from. All right? Need to check out the coach on this one, and maybe I'll include a link to coach on this. If you're not familiar with coach, it might be time for you to be familiar with coach. But I am sure going to include Hassan Campbell on this, because Cuomo carefully flirted with these women. Carefully. Now, I am of a firm believer you don't shit where you eat. Okay? And what I mean by that is, the workplace for me is where I eat, because it provides for my living expenses. All right? So, me personally, I've trained my mind. I don't care how fine a woman is, it's not worth looking at her any other way than a co-worker, because I prefer not to shit where I eat. All right? Seed planted. That in itself will save you a lot of headache. I think if I was going to give any advice to Cuomo, that would have been the advice that I would give him. I don't care how fine the woman is if it's associated with your work, don't do that. It's not worth it. Is it fair? No. A woman can flirt with you anywhere, and it's good. Men, we don't get to do that. So choose wisely. Choose wisely, Daniel-son, when and where you choose to flirt with a woman. All right? In the end, you live in the day now. Maybe I'll include Floor Burn in the link too, and just bring them all together, because a sister's voice on this, or a woman's voice on this, is much stronger than a man's voice. You need to hear what the C-star Floor Burn has to say on topics like this. All right? Because now, even if you successfully flirt with a woman, before I finish that, I will get back to Floor Burn. I'm still on Floor Burn, but I will get back to that. It used to be, and it still is, taboo to discuss a woman's age or to ask a woman's age. You remember that? Taboo to ask a woman's age. Now you live in a society where not only do you have that question is on the table, because it's on the table, there's deeper questions on the table now that maybe some of you women are not going to be prepared to deal with. I mean, or get offended by, but it may need to be asked. Okay? I'd like to see your birth certificate, pretty please. Okay? Can I see some of your baby pictures, pretty please? All right? To sort of create a timeline where you can have it established in your mind what gender you identify with. Right? You got sleepiness, your current fake corporate president, signing executive orders regarding newborns and genders. What world do we... Listen, take your power back. Take your power back. This is all starting to go left. This is all starting to go left. And for many reasons, marriage is just not it's just not something we think about anymore. I'm just telling you, it's just not. There's no advantages for marriage. It's just not. And women, and usually it's because of the attitude of women. I'm not blaming you. What I'm saying is we're all under mind control. All of us, the males and the women. And we're under genetic attack. All this soy in the foods, my gosh. You got men walking around with man boobs. All the soy in the foods. All these processed foods. These shots of mass destructions. Making men feminine and women masculine. It's going left. It's going left. What you going to do about it? For years, I believed children were the future. Children with a future. And I raise my children like children with a future. Children with a future. I want my children to be better and have a better life than I had. That was the goal. By any means necessary. And I wasn't always nice. Ask my children. I wasn't always nice about that. Listen, the world is hard. The world is hard. So I used tools, however I could use them, to create environments where they have to make it through difficult situations. I used sports. I was a very hard coach. Very hard. Okay? I used a lot of things. I raised my kids hard. Because the world is unforgiving. It just is. There's no room for weakness. Particularly weak girls. I had girls and boys. No room for weak girls, no room for weak boys. And you boys, be strong. If you don't have strong role models, male role models in your immediate circle, step out of your circle and look for them. Find them and gravitate to them. Be strong. Choose wisely, Daniel-san. You girls, find the strong sea stars that are not living their best lives on social media, taking thousands of selfies and video clips and cash apps and all that nonsense. Do what thy will. I'm just saying. Choose what it is. My uncle, he wasn't my real uncle, but he used to ask me, he lived next door to me. He used to ask me, will you see yourself out in 5 years? Will you see yourself out in 5 years? Will you see yourself out in 5 years? And what I loved about it is it made me think about, okay, what am I doing now and what I want to be at in 5 years? Uncle Gene, who still speaks to me in my sleep. That's another video. Will you see yourself out in 5 years? Listen, where do you want to be at in 5 years? Where are you at now? Where do you want to be at in 5 years? And how are you going to use your imagination to filter into this holographic existence, another video, the life that you envision for yourself in the next 4 to 5 years? It's another video. Back to Floorburn. The Sea Star goes into depth about the attack on masculinity in this country. Is it through the foods, through shots of mass destructions, through chemtrails, etc. When are you going to snap out of it? When are you going to snap out of it? Cuomo is in trouble for getting his flirt on. Flirting with a woman is illegal. Well, Mike, she was younger than him. So what? So what? Was she 17? Was she 16? No. If she's 17 and 16, I get it. Oh, off limits. I get it. Okay? 23, 24, 25? He got his flirt. 30? What? He got his flirt on. His soft flirt. How do you feel about, dating an older man? All right? If that's illegal, women, you're not worth talking to at all. Unless you talk to us first. And after you talk to us first, you have a pre-approved document giving us permission to respond to the fact that you're interested in this. My God, where has society gone? Huh? Some weak shit. That's some weak shit. Listen, I'm up for the shenanigans. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. If it's got to go to that, if it's got to go to signed documentation, you take the first step to let me know you're interested in me before I even think about looking at you. That's the only way to keep your job or to be able to not go to jail. I'm with that. That's fine. Let me tell you why I'm with that. Let me tell you why that's fine. Because there's more of you out there running around single than us. You kidding me? There's more of you, and I'm going to tell you where this is going to lead to. I've been talking about it for a long time. I wasn't shouting it from the rooftops. I was dropping little whispers. Yo, it's moving toward a polygamous society. It just is. It's moving toward a polygamous society. It's going that route. I saw it years ago. I didn't understand how it was going to come about, but I saw the patterns years ago. Let me explain. There's more of you women out there than men. just are. A lot of reasons. You got incarcerations. You got a new set of pronouns to be used to describe what used to be men, etc., etc. The list goes on and on. Death. The fact that more women being born than men. Anyway, I mean, you don't have the advantage there. Just not. And most of the good guys, or what you would consider good guys, are taken. They just are. Furthermore, we live in a society, well, we used to live in a society where one income was enough to support the household. Now it takes two. All right? So it might be a good idea to incorporate 3, possibly 4. Facts. You may not want to deal with that, but I'm telling you, that's what it's coming to. It takes 2 people working full time to have enough money to be broke. That don't make sense. And listen, my mom was a stay-at-home mom for most of my life. And we did not want for a whole lot. My father worked at the post office, and then he worked to change fields and whatever. Became a detective. I mean, look, we did well. His job provided real good for us. Props to Pops for that. Those days are gone. It takes 2 people working 40 plus hours a week to have enough money to be broke. That's a problem. And that's done by design. Just done by design. And it's women are put in a situation where they can get ahead if they push their man to the side, because then they can get government assistance. And I would do that too. I understand why you're doing it. I'm not bashing you for doing it. I'm just saying, you're raising your kids and you will lose your benefits if you allow the man to live with you. So you know that's an agenda. And you're falling for it willingly because you live in the age of information. It's 2021. 2020 was supposed to be your eyes opening. Now it's 2021. Anything that seeking ye shall find. The information is all out here. It's not rocket. They're hiding it right in front of you. They're hiding all the things that's being done to brown families right in front of you. Most families, except farmers, all right? Now, if you're a farmer family and you get a government subsidy, the head of the household doesn't have to leave the house. But if you're brown and you get a subsidy, better not be no man living there. All right? And some of you that are my age remember the days we used to have to hide the toasters and anything else your boyfriends bought you so that you wouldn't lose your benefits. If I'm making something up, call me on it. If I just lied, call me out on it. My gosh. You snap out of it. So there's a popular soundbite from the coach's webpage. What happened? Where did all the men go? Listen. Get ahead of the curve. Get ahead of, find you an alpha male, get ahead of the curve. I'm just telling you. All right? Because you're being attacked on all levels. From the shoes you wear to the toothpaste you use and everywhere else in between. All levels you're being attacked. And I could do a 4-hour video starting with the shoes you wear, women, up to your toothpaste on how you're being attacked and your skincare and all of that. And have you here for 2-3 hours going into great detail with no notes. Snap out of it. You sleep. And it's okay to be asleep. I mean, they tell you life is but a dream, man. They're telling you life is a dream. You sleep. So when are you awake? 2 times you're awake. When you sleep at night, and when you go through death's door. Another video, not going there. Some Bobby Hemmett stuff. Back to Bobby Hemmett real quick, and I'll get back to Florida. And Bobby Hemmett said something that shocked me. Talk about children again. And in my thought process on children. Want my children to be better than me. Want my children to be stronger than me physically. Want my children to be stronger than me mentally. Want my children to be stronger than me spiritually. Bobby has something very interesting to say about children. In the 90s, I saw it 10 years later watching old Bobby Hemmett tapes. He was like, fuck the children. The children ain't the future of shit. That hurt. Listen, that got me right here. You kidding me? I disagree with that. I was like, are you kidding me? He's right. This is an individual experience. This ain't about saving groups of people or nothing. It's about going inside and tapping inside and figuring out who and what you really are in this animated avatar. Truth hurts. The children in the future is shit. If the future is gender neutral children, then the children ain't the future of shit. It's not hate. It's facts. In fact, if you have to come up with appropriate new pronouns to navigate this world to not get in trouble, if children ain't the future of shit. They're just not. You got to be strong enough to say it. You got to be strong enough to say it. And you got to be strong enough to deal with what comes with it. It's not hate. It's just not hate. Listen, it's child abuse. It's child abuse for Michelle Obama to have a discussion with a 12-year-old who's not old enough to make a decision like that about changing sexuality and put that for national people to see. That's a blatant child abuse. My understanding of it is child abuse. I got experience with child abuse. I really do. You know why? Because I was charged with child abuse. Let's talk about it. I decided that my daughter shouldn't have a vaccine on the day she was born. I decided that I wanted to talk to my doctors about it more thoroughly before I allowed anybody to inject her with needles on the day she was born. And the Florida courts decided that that was child abuse. Took my daughter and gave my daughter to a lesbian couple. One of the members of that couple had a thing for dressing like a boy and using the men's bathroom. Child abuse, because I don't want my daughter to have a vaccine on the day she's born. Perfectly okay to take my daughter from me and give them to a lesbian gay couple, one of which dresses like a boy and uses the men's bathroom. This happened almost 4 years ago. Still don't have my daughter. You kidding me? Y'all asleep. Now, my psychological says you can't mess with my family. If you mess with my family, you get any reaction you want to get out of me. The problem with that is I'm very familiar with my psychological. And I have the choice to react and how I react. Violent, I chose not to react violent because that would have supported the narrative. Right? Your mother and I have suffered greatly for fighting for what we believe in without doing anything that would support the narrative that we are angry and that we are violent. In time, we will win. Okay? Because everything you put in those papers, all the thing you put in those papers, you got nothing to support that. Violent? What acts of violence have I committed? None. None. The children ain't the future of shit. Not when you live in a society where they can take your child because you disagree on what they want you to do with your children. You got to vaccinate your children. If you don't, that's child abuse and take them. There's nothing you can do. But it's okay to get on national TV with a 12-year-old boy who wants to be a girl and promote that and make him a spokesperson for other 12-year-olds who might want to have that same lifestyle, who are not mentally or physically equipped to make that decision long-term that will affect the rest of their life. Nothing to see here. Everything is fine. It's an ass-backward society that we live in. And at some point, some of you got to snap out of it. But you can't snap out of it walking around with your face covered. 2 or 3 masks on. You got a mask on and a face shield. Are you kidding me? No, don't wake up. It's too late. It's too late. It's too late to wake up. You don't want to wake up. You want to be mind controlled. And it's okay. You have the right to. These are your experiences. You have the right to live under mind control. All right? I'm not telling you that I'm not living under mind control. What I'm telling you is that I'm looking for all the areas where mind control had maybe had an effect, and I'm breaking them when I identify them. Okay? With a very important question. Why? Who, what, where, when is important, but why? Why? Floorburn. C-Star, very knowledgeable, talking about the new wave of demasculization of sun stars on this continent. Okay? Protect your sun stars. Protect your sea stars. Women, let your men be men. Women, let your man stand up when he pees. Men don't sit down when they pee. And you need to encourage that. You need to encourage that. Do not encourage your men to sit down when they pee. Do not encourage your boys to sit down when they pee. That's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. This is. It's a metaphor. Allow men to be strong. Allow young boys to be strong. Allow young boys to grow. In harmony with nature. My gosh. You get your channels shut down for saying the wrong thing. It's the most vibrational way I can express it without repercussion. Allow your boys to grow in harmony with the vibration of nature. Thank you for coming. God bless you. Good day.